Day 2. What I want to focus on day 2 of being a product manager, vibe coding, an app for ukulele practice is today I really want to think a little bit about the design and how to get that better. So part of the design I kind of want to focus on right now is this. This is not like the typical way that you show a chord. So let's go ahead and just start asking Replit about this. So I'm going to start by asking it to look up for standard ways. And I've had some good luck with the vibe coding with just asking it like, what's the best practice for doing this? Or what's the standard way for doing it? One thing I'm trying here that I haven't tried before is I'm asking it to come up with a few options. This is also a place where I think it can help to try a few different apps. So like, I wonder what Magic Patterns would say. So Magic Patterns is sort of like a vibe designer. One nice thing about Replit that you can see right over here, this little tiny little purple part of the dot should turn green when it's finished working. So the purple here matches the little purple tiny corner. All right, so this is what Magic Patterns has come up with. And the sizing of this isn't quite right. So sometimes when I'm vibe coding, I'll get a little bit impatient and I'll just try to use all of the apps at once. And that gives me a chance to sort of compare and contrast what they do. So over here, I was really focusing in on that chord chart thing. So, and what you can kind of see is that every time I'm prompting one of these agents, I'm changing my words just a little bit because I'm learning just a little bit more about what it is that I'm looking for and what I wasn't happy with from before. And while this is going, you can actually see that this fav icon has switched back. So that means it's done. So we can take a look at what it's come up. So it's come up with some new options. It created a whole options page, which is a pretty nice way to show it. So we got. So this one has a nice element of at least showing the open chords separated from the main ones. But here it almost looks like you're pressing down on the fret itself. It's not clear that you're supposed to press down between the frets. So that's kind of confusing to me. So I'm going to let it know the thing that I have a trouble with. Come over then and see what we've gotten over here. So it's indicated the fingers a little bit more, but the frets here still don't match up. Let's see how Lovable's doing. It's like it is loading the preview. I know a lot of people like V0, so let's give that a try. Well, this first one here is starting to get a little bit better. Still feels like giant design for it. It's also interesting when you do this, you can kind of get a sense for some of the limitations of AI because the AI can't actually see what it's done. So it knows what it tried to do and it kind of failed. Like these letters aren't lining up and the dots are not quite in the right spot, but it just can't see what it's done, so it doesn't know. I think number one is kind of close. Then we just want to make it a lot smaller. You can see here again. So this is meant to be the A string. And so really this 3 should be right here. Main thing I'm learning here is that this UI is not standard. Although here we go. Looks like Lovable did something very reasonable. This is what I was expecting. When I was saying a chord chart. So you can see also that V0 has done them sideways, which could make sense, except it's upside down. So what I'm going to do here then, since I like this design, is just take a screenshot of it. Let's see if it can copy a screenshot. So the diagram now looks exactly like the professional chord chart you showed me. You can give it a refresh just in case I'm wrong, but no. So what I'm going to do again here, just like think about filing a bug report, see if it can take a screenshot and fix it from. One of the reasons I think it's nice as a product manager to play with these AI agents is that it's useful to learn what kinds of things they can do well and what kinds of things they're struggling with, because it's very surprising. And you can see that this visual aspect of things is pretty difficult for it since it can't see what it's done, or it's not like automatically taking screenshots and seeing what it's done. Whereas some of the other things, so much of what we've built so far came really fast. So at this point, I'm very tempted to stop, but I am going to give it one more try and just let it know that the circles are off center. I'm going back to Lovable here, and what I'm looking for is to see if I can actually just get at their, so one option that I could do would be to take some of this code and just pass it directly along to Replit and see if it could make sense of that. Code viewer, there we go. All right, chord diagram, found it. I'm gonna hit paste here, and it should, because it's a big paste, usually we'll paste it almost as a file. You can see it turned into like basically an attachment. Okay, this is interesting. So I knew nothing about what the code was, but it says this SVG-based approach is much cleaner and more accurate. Let me implement this exact logic and replace the current chord diagram. So what's useful here, since we're still in this exploring phase, right? This is my like Scratchpad version of the project, is I've now learned that this term SVG-based approach is what we want to be calling something like this. So when I do my final project, I'm going to recommend using an SVG-based approach for the chord diagrams. This looks great. Before I call it a day, I'm going to now ask it to switch all of the chord diagrams in the product to match this this design. I'll say, okay. And you can see now we've got the UI here, current chord. Let's go ahead then and try it. Nice. So you can still, we still have plenty of UI issues here. This isn't really the right design where I've got more than one button over here. I can't really see my my progress along here, but we at least have gotten this chord design to now be what we wanted. So it kind of felt like it was a lot of work. I had to kind of go through a few different iterations. I ended up using more than one vibe coding tool to come up with the design that I wanted. And one of them worked. Ended up copying that code over. But all in all, this was less than half an hour of work for something that if I were a product manager working at a company, I might need to go talk to a designer, have like a 15-minute meeting with that designer, wait an hour, maybe wait a day, depending on when this slots into their schedule, have them come back to me with the design, and then come over to an engineer, 5-minute sync to explain what the code is, and then maybe wait another day or two until they have time to fit into their schedule to get it done. So half an hour of work, not so bad for this.